Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel, welcome back to my kitchen. Whoever doesn't know me, my name is Svetlana, and today I want to show you our recipe of manti. Many different countries make manti. Turkish people make manti, Uzbek people make manti. Basically it's Middle Eastern dumplings. So you change the spices and it becomes a completely different recipe. So today we're gonna make Uzbek Manti. And I would probably struggle with the recipe because I'm not from Uzbekistan, I'm from Ukraine. So how could you find a perfect recipe? Thankfully, I found this excellent YouTube channel, Untitled Chapter, for my Russian friends because it's in Russian. So if you're looking to make the best Uzbek food, go on YouTube and follow Uzbek Chapter because it's the best. And now I have a secret how to make the best, the most juiciest manti. Originally, you gotta have a lot of meat and also you need kurduk. That's an animal fat. And we live in 2021 and we all know that animal fat is so bad for you. So a lot of people when they make manti, they cut the meat and then they put the butter inside the meat. But we're not gonna do that. We're gonna make it the healthiest because to make the juiciest manti, the secret is to use the same amount of onion as the meat. So I'm using 2 pounds of meat and I'm gonna use 2 pounds of onion. Don't be scared. Don't think that, oh my God, there's so much onion. This onion gonna melt and it's gonna be that delicious juice that without the animal fat and without an extra butter, your manti gonna taste amazing. Trust me on that, and thank you Uzbek Chapter for that tip. Otherwise, it would take me such a long time to get that perfect taste. I would be using butter and this and this and that until I would realize that the secret is in the onion. So, what I'm gonna use for this recipe? For my filling, I'm using lamb and beef. For my lamb, I'm using boneless leg of lamb, and for my beef, I'm using boneless short rib because it's kind of a little bit fatty. We need that little fat, even though when I prepped it, I cut everything out. I don't want that animal fat. But again, the meat is juicier because it's next to the bone. So how I pre-made it, I cut it to slices like that, and I put it in the freezer because we make our manti not from ground meat. A ground meat would be much easier, but no, we cannot do it. It needs to be cut to little cubes. So how we make it easier for us to cut? You slice it to little pieces, to like a slices like that, and then when it's a little frozen, it's gonna be so easy to cut. So now I took it out from the freezer and I'm gonna let it defrost until that point where I could cut it. Or you could just slice it when it's fresh, put it in the freezer for like 20 minutes and then you cut it. But I already pre-made it a long time ago, so it's easier for me like that now. Okay, and for the spices, we're just gonna use salt, pepper, and cumin. And guys, I start buying spices from Trader Joe. The best. Really good. And for my dough, it's very simple. All we need to use is flour. I have 500 grams of flour. I'm gonna be using 1 egg. I'm gonna be using 1 teaspoon of salt and around 300 milliliters of water. That's it. And of course, I have my helper to knead the dough. Otherwise, I would have to do it with my hands. So, okay guys, if you don't have it, you're gonna have to knead it for like 10 minutes until it's all gonna come together. Let's begin. Now we're gonna make our dough, let it rest for like 20 minutes, and while it's gonna be resting, we're gonna get our filling ready. To our flour, I'm gonna add 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 egg, and I'm gonna add my water. All together, I mean, I'm using the mixer, so it doesn't matter for me. I'm just gonna mix everything a little bit here, and I'm gonna put it in my standing mixer until my dough gonna come together. So guys, my dough is sticking to my hands, so this is not good. I'm gonna add probably around tablespoon to 2 tablespoons of flour. So start with 250 milliliters of water because your dough should not be sticking in your hands. That means it needs more flour. My friends, my dough is ready. I want to show it to you now. You see it's not sticking to my hands. That means it's ready. So even if you knead it by hand, that's what you're looking for. Your dough is still soft. Kobe! Your dough is still soft, but it's not sticking to your hand. Now, we cover it with a plastic wrap, or we put it in a bag, plastic bag, and you let it rest for like 15-20 minutes. It's gonna become much softer and much easier to work with. Now we're gonna start working on our filling. We're gonna cut our meat, and I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna cut my meat. So, I hope it froze a little bit. Slicing, you see, it's so easy to cut because it's not frozen really bad, but it's still together, so it does not fall apart. Now I'm gonna cut. I don't want this fat. I mean, Uzbek people gonna tell me that I'm crazy, but I do not like this fat. I don't want to eat it. It's okay. It's going to the garbage. So we have to cut it to a small pieces like this. Even smaller. This is even too thick for me. This pieces like that. And trust me, when it's a little frozen, it's not hard to cut it. Little mini cubes. And we're gonna continue slicing our meat. And I'm gonna do the same thing with lamb. My lamb needs to be frozen a little more. So I'm gonna slice all my meat, and the same thing I'm gonna do with my onion. So I'm gonna slice my onion to also little cubes. Just, I need my knife to be sharp. It's already not sharp. Okay. Little cubes, just like that. Friends, my meat and my onion fully sliced. Look, this is little mini cubes, tiny cubes. Maybe you should cut it even smaller, but this is how I did it. And the onions, it's the same amount. I had 1 pound of beef, 1 pound of lamb, and I have around 2 pounds of onions. So now for the seasoning, we're just gonna use salt. I don't know how much to taste. I don't know how much I put. This is why I use this from this thing, because I don't know, from this thing, I know how much to put. Again, cumin, guys, to taste, I don't know, maybe a tablespoon. And also I'm gonna use, I'm a mess today, black pepper, also to taste, maybe probably like a half a teaspoon. And what I'm gonna do now, I'm gonna mix everything. Some people add a little bit of water, but we have so much onion that we're not gonna need it. So mix everything kind of like you could squeeze that onion so the juice kind of come out. So my friends, now we're gonna start shaping our Manti. We'll take out our dough. Oops. Okay. I cut a little piece so it would be easier for me to work with. And I place it back and cover it. And now I get a little bit of flour. And we're just gonna roll it to the thinnest we can. Guys, I have a machine, that kind of pasta machine that rolls the dough, make it thin, but I'm gonna show you how it's made because not everybody have it. So we put a little bit of flour on the rolling pin and we just start stretching it just like that. We gotta make it thin because we don't want the thick dough. And I don't have the skills of that rolling. I wish I could learn how Turkish people, they have that thin rolling pin, and I actually bought it, but I just can't do it because I don't have skills for that. They learn how to do it since they're babies. I think they're 5 years old, they already know how to roll the dough. So I could just do the regular method like that, and I could never make the perfect shape. My shape is like that. This dough is very, very easy to work with. The stretch is really, really easy. So guys, we're gonna need a little squares. It doesn't matter if they absolutely identical because we're not professional chefs. We're just cooking at home for our family. So it could be like this shape. I'll show you. It's completely no matter. Put our filling in the middle. I like to put a lot. Like a tablespoon and a half. But again, it depends what kind of size is it. If it's like a little bit smaller, then you adjust. You put a little bit less. Like for example, this one is a little bit smaller. My friends, I put my filling in each one of them. You see how it looks? Like it looks like a lot, but they don't need to be fully closed. That's the thing, so it doesn't matter. You pinch the middle, the sides, and then you take the other sides and you stick them together. And here's the perfectly shaped. This is the easiest version of manti. There is many different shapes, but this is the original one. And I'll show you the crooked one right here. You see it's a triangle. You still, even if it rips a little bit, you put these two sides right here. You put this side over here, like a little square, and then you pinch the ends, and that's it. And trust me, after it's gonna cook, no one's gonna see the difference because it's gonna melt and you'll see the end result. And you continue doing the same thing. To shape them is very fast. The hardest thing is to cut the meat. But guys, trust me, the difference in texture from the ground meat and the cut meat like that is a humongous difference in taste and everything. I'll show you another version of Georgian hinkali. Very similar to that. The same spices, the same meat, but it comes in the ground meat. But this is completely different thing. I'll show you soon. But now we're making manti, and that's how it goes. I have this pot with these holes. This is how we're gonna make it. So I'm gonna get some water, put it on the cover, let it boil, and then I'm gonna place manti and I'll show you how it's done. My friends, my water started boiling. See? It is boiling. So now I take my one of the layer and I spray it with PEM, or you could brush it with oil or butter. And now we place our manti on the top, just like that. We need to leave a little space in between because they're gonna kind of grow a little bit. Just like this. And make sure you grease your pot, otherwise it's just gonna stick and you're not gonna be able to get them out. Okay, I'll spray this one and I'll place the rest of them. And this is what I'm gonna make The real Uzbek pot for Manti has like 3-4 layers, so you could make a lot of them. I have this Chinese one, my co-workers got it for me from work, so I could make Manti for them. Yeah, so yes, I could make only this much. All right, I put it like that, cover it around 40 minutes on the medium. My heat is very high. I'm gonna put it on the medium heat, and I'm gonna continue making the rest of Manti, and I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna freeze it. So from all my flour and 2 pounds of meat and 2 pounds of onion, this is what I'm gonna freeze, and probably a little bit less than that is here cooking right now. I just wanted to show you the end result and how I'm gonna freeze it. I'm gonna cover it flat. You could place them like that on the cutting board and cover it with a plastic wrap and place them like this in the freezer. When they are frozen, you could like break them with a knife. Just, it's gonna come out, it's gonna be easy, and you put them in the freezer bag and just store them, and when you cook them from the freezer, you add 5 more minutes. So they're gonna be cooked in 40 minutes, after freezer it's gonna be 45-50 minutes, and they're gonna be ready. So I'm gonna see you when they're gonna be ready. My Manti is ready. Come take a look. And this is our beautiful Manti. So now we gotta gently pick them up, and because we sprayed with Pam, they did not stick. I remember I made them very long time ago when I just started cooking, and of course I didn't spray the pot and they stick. Yes, that was my first experience of Manti. Now professional, and these things don't happen anymore to me. And now when our Manti is ready, we take a piece of butter and we put just on the top of our dough. Just like that. We need butter for our dough. It's still much less than if we would put inside a big piece. Some people do that, they put big piece inside. So here is just a little bit. Oops, this one broke, it's okay. Just like that. Okay, and the final step is just my taste preferences, and say hi to Kobe because he's begging for Manti. We take a little bit of cumin and we just put a little bit on top. And again, if you don't like cumin, you may skip that step. You could put a little bit of paprika on top, even chili pepper. God knows, please Uzbek people, don't kill me for saying that, but people have different taste preferences and they may like different things. All right, okay, I think it's ready to eat. Okay, I'm gonna try it now. I love this stuff. I love it so much that I could eat it every day, all day. And of course, sour cream. Sour cream, a little salt on my sour cream. I can't eat sour cream without salt. It has to be a little bit salty. A little more salt. It's not good for you, but it tastes delicious. Oops. I can't describe it. You gotta try it. It's so good. And again, thank you, Uzbek Manti, if you're watching me right now. Shout out to you, because without you, it would take me much longer time to make this perfect. perfect manti with the juiciest fillings. And goodbye, my friends. I need to eat. My friends, subscribe to my YouTube channel so you don't miss any more of my videos. Leave some comments down below, and I will see you next time. And